Welcome to the Irresistible Events Podcast, where we don't just host events, we engineer and design moments that shift people, shape movements, and sell with ease. Because an event isn't a slideshow, a schedule, a speaker lineup, or a venue. It's an experience, a transformation, a room where clarity hits, walls fall, and decisions finally get made. I'm Andrea, the Irresistible Experience Creator. And around here, we do things differently. We design with intention, we build with excellence, we let the strategy breathe, the emotions land, and the audience feels something they can't shake off. This podcast is for the visionary, the coach, the expert, the leader who knows that one well-designed experience can change their entire business and the lives of their audience. So, if you're ready to stop hosting forgettable events and start creating experiences your audience runs back to every single time, you're in the right place. Let's build something irresistible. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Irresistible Events Podcast. We're going to dive deep today into your niche. Or niche, however you want to say it. I don't know how you say it properly. Please help a girl out. So today we're going to define who we want in the room, because choosing the right room before you choose the content and the topic is essential. We want to know who we are tailoring this event for. By now, we've talked about why events don't sell, how to choose the right type of event, and how to create an irresistible experience with my formula. Those are episodes 1, 2, and 3 of season number 3. But none of that works if you don't know who the room is really for. So here's how we're going to define niche in this case. Now, you're a seasoned event host or a business owner, entrepreneur, SaaS agency owner, coach, consultant. Maybe you are an executive at a business listening to my podcast. I don't know what your title is, but I do know your problems. I know that your problem lies in that you're winging it. You are using Google Sheets to manage everything. You probably are, confused on why your events are not working. Maybe you just want to make your experiences irresistible because they have become boring and overwhelming. Whatever the reason you are listening to my podcast, that is my niche. Does that make sense? The problem is the niche when it comes to events. And this is how I see things, okay? This is not written on stone. This is not in the textbooks that I read and studied at the university. But this is my experience, because I know that there's so many ways to define target market, avatar, etc. But we have to find the problem that brings all these people together. Audiences are all the same, but they're all different at the same time. Humans, everybody's special except nobody is, right? We all have the same needs, the same wants, the same desires. In general, we all want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be loved, we want to have fun and enjoy life, we want to be treated well, we want to live well, we want to eat well, we want to have a good roof over our heads, and then we have other dreams and desires that vary depending on your personality and how you grew up and your social economic status and all those things. I always have Grant Cardone in my head when it comes to sales. And I know a lot of people don't like him. I stopped listening to him a long time ago, but there's a book that I read, actually I heard in an Audible with his voice, that was so good, and I don't remember the name of the book. There's a phrase that was stuck in my head, and every time I'm going to create an offer, an event, a challenge, a workshop, whatever it is that I'm selling, I'm always going to think, who's got my money? That's the most essential question you can ask. So in the words of Grant Cardone, who's got your money? Who is that person that has a problem, or entrepreneur or coach or consultant, whatever it is that your target audience is labeled as? What is their problem? Who are we designing this event for? Because you cannot design events for everyone, just like marketing. An event is a marketing vehicle. So you cannot just create an event for everyone, especially right now when we're starting 2026. Because if you do it for everybody, you're doing it for no one. You design events for a specific room that you are meant to lead. A room that you, the leader, you are the host. You are the one that solves the problem that your audience has. When we bring them into the event experience and we bring them into the physical or digital room, you are the alchemist that's going to collapse time for your audience and help them get clarity, do something, get something done. You're going to help them achieve something. This is important to think about because we're going to talk about event promise in our next episode. We're going to talk about topic, event promise, and content. It's going to be a very packed episode, but I want to set up the foundations right now. In my planners, in the Create Irresistible Virtual Events 90-Day Planner and in the Create Irresistible Retreats 90-Day Planner, niche is not about demographics. It's not about age. It's not about a job title. It's not about gender. It's not about if they have kids or they don't have kids. Maybe that's important for you if you are a parent coach. But in general, it's not about what they have or what they do unless it's important for your specific topic. Do you get me? I know I'm contradicting myself here, but hear me out. Two things can be opposite and be true at the same time. Anyways, when we're thinking about our event niche, we're thinking at a specific audience inside of your audience. Sometimes your events are not for your whole audience. Like it depends what type of virtual event or in-person event you host. If you're hosting a virtual summit or an in-person summit, doesn't matter the room this is held on, your niche is going to be broad but specific. What do I mean by this? I'll give you an example, a real life right now example. It is the end of the year 2025 when I'm recording this, and I am being bombarded. When I tell you bombarded, every second post is an ad about an AI summit, and they're different hosts and they're different dates and they're different graphics and different ads, but they all have one thing in common. They're too broad. There's only one that is standing out right now. And I'm not even going to join because I'm not an AI beginner, but they made the right choice with their name and their topic. They're only attracting and bringing into a digital AI beginners. The other AI summits, they're too broad. AI Business Summit tells me nothing. That's one of the names. The other one is just AI Summit. Doesn't tell me anything. The other one, I don't even remember. It's not memorable. And we don't want our audience to be talking like that about our events, do we? So if it's broad, like an AI topic. AI is broad because you can talk about ChatGPT, you can talk about Claude, you can talk about Gemini, which is an LMS. I know a little bit about AI. Actually, I know a lot. So these events are not particularly enticing for me because I'm not a beginner. I am definitely not an expert, but I am an intermediate user because I jumped into the AI fairly at the beginning. So I know a lot about it, but I don't know everything about it. So I don't feel comfortable teaching it, except when you join my speaking gigs that I'm going to be presenting in two of my colleagues' summits in the first quarter of 2026, I'm going to share a little AI tool that I am building for you. So anyways, that's a tangent and a little bit of a sneak peek of what I'm going to be offering during those summit sessions. But anyways, I am not attracted to any of these events because one of them, I actually already signed up for it a few months ago. I know they're doing the same event over and over and over again, which is something I recommend 100%. But I don't want to go again. I don't want to attend because honestly, it was a royal waste of my time. They talked too much fluff. They never got to the point until the afternoon, and I was done by then. You have to be very intentional about this stuff. And I know I go on some tangents, but they are so intentional. This is another tangent, and I normally don't announce the tangents, but hear me out. When you're creating the schedule and the content and the sessions of your event, you have to be so intentional to grab your audience from the beginning. And that's all I'm going to say about this. And this is a sneak peek of the next episode. Okay. So do you see the example where the AI Summit for Beginners, AI Beginner Summit, I don't know if that's what it's called. I don't remember right now. But I saw that it was specifically for beginners. That's going to attract way more people than the other 3 or 4 summits that I have been seeing that are going to be part of the Q1 event season. So I know that there's another summit that is going to have a lot of audience because of the speakers. There are a few big hitters in the marketing space that are going to be speaking. So of course, their followers are going to definitely sign up. But to be honest, I am neutral about this speakers, to be honest. I don't dislike them or I don't like them. They're like whatever to me. So it doesn't entice me either. If they were to create a summit/workshop for intermediate users, here's another tip. Very important. Right now, people are not, and I repeat, they are not following my advice. And the advice of the intermediate audience, that intermediate level, especially in tech and marketing, is being not taken care of. You're leaving so much money on the table by ignoring this audience. Normally, there's only events for beginners, but that's what happens in this industry. They think, let's make it super broad so everybody can come. And what happens? I'll tell you what happens. In an in-person event, the advanced and the intermediates don't even go inside the room anymore. They just hang out in the lobby of the hotel or the venue or whatever. And what happens in the digital world? They log off because it's a royal waste of their time. Or they just meet in other masterminds and other communities because there's no events for them. This is a big opportunity. If you're listening to me right now, this is a big opportunity. Think about your audience who is already intermediate. They're not beginners on your topic, but they're not super experts yet. Those are being neglected, so don't neglect them. Your event niche are people who can be served more deeply through an event. Here's the thing. When you are hosting an event, you got to think about your people because events require time, they require energy, they require emotional presence, they require decision making, and if people don't immediately recognize themselves in the room with the graphic, with the ad, with the social media post that you made, they will not commit to attend. Don't overcomplicate this. You already have an audience. You already have clients. Why don't you just reverse engineer this? If you already have a group of clients, one-on-one clients, or you have a membership, a mastermind, a group program that you are already hosting, why don't you just create an event for them? That's part of your audience. If you want to create another type of event, let's talk about this. Book a call, go to irresistibleformula.com/call, fill out the form, book a time with me, and let's chat. And I can help you piece all this together for your specific audience. Now, let's continue. Let's ask smart questions when we're deciding who are the people we want in the room. So, who's got your money? Question number 1. Is there a specific audience that you can serve more deeply with an event? Which audience inside your audience could benefit the most? So you're not looking for a brand new market unless you're starting out or unless you are already on the scaling and want to find new people and you want to create a summit and attract more people, right? Then you're looking for a new market. But you gotta identify who already trusts you. This is the easiest way to decide who your audience is, what type of event you're going to create, and who would benefit most from an experience, not just content. If you are an established entrepreneur, agency owner, coach, consultant, whatever your label is, you have an audience, you have a membership, you have a group program, you have a mastermind, and you don't have a retreat, what the heck are you doing? Seriously, let me help you plan it. I love retreats. They're my favorite event because I love small, luxury, transformational, alchemies, collapse time types of events. I love those, especially if you're going to come here to El Salvador. I would love to show you around. I would love to do the whole setup for you and just pick you up at the airport like the star that you are and take you to the venue that's already set up with a private chef, with a private everything, tours and activities and a pool and the private ocean and yeah, private beaches. Hello, somebody. Or if you're a mountain person, I got you too. If you're a lake person, also, we got you. Tiny country that has everything. Anyways, that's an announcement for El Salvador. Let me give you examples. If you already have an audience, if you have a membership, a mastermind, if you already have people that are begging to spend more time with you, oh, they are. I know that they are. Think about them and create an experience that helps them create momentum. If you're a business coach, you can create a retreat workshop style where people come and you help them define the next year and plan their offers. Help them launch an offer or streamline their tech. Work for a little, then play for a little. Or maybe you're a systems coach and your audience is tired of being behind the desk and they want to be together. You can bring them, co-work together, help them build the systems, and then go hang out at the pool, read a book, do some leisure, do some tourism, come back with a fresh mind, and then go back to the screens. Like, you can create an experience however you want to create it. I'm giving you ideas on how you can choose your niche. If you don't have an audience, a course, a membership, or a group program, or a mastermind, then you need to decide who is your ideal client and what is their problem. So you're not thinking about who is this person in the physical aspect of things or the demographic of things, but in the frustrations, problems, needs, desires, and wants. When you define that, then you're going to find your niche, and they're usually closer than you think. They're probably already in your social media following you. Now, question number 2. Can you break down your audience into smaller groups? And I ask you this because the trend is small. Quality versus quantity. If you've noticed, the big conferences are shutting down. The biggest one is 500 people that I've seen succeed in 2025. But probably the only one that will work if you make it a little bigger is the high level level up summit. But honestly, it's going to be too big to be able to meet everybody. So they're obviously going to have like side quests, side events. And I love that for them, right? So if you want to create a big conference, go for it. But make sure that you create safe places of activation where people can connect with each other and they can get the most out of that event. So let's go back to question number 2. Can you break down your audience into smaller groups? If you are hosting a retreat, if you are hosting a summit, whatever it is, honestly, I'm asking about the smaller groups because we're not talking about industry. We're not talking about their titles. We're talking about their needs and their problems. Can you pinpoint one problem, 3 max, that you can solve during this event? Because if you lump everything together, let's say you're a business coach and you hear that doing a summit is going to attract new leads to your email list, right? Yes, it does, 100%. But then you'll decide to make an online business summit and then you want to talk about every topic under the sun. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to be scattered. You're going to have leads with all different types of problems. It's not going to be cohesive. It's not going to have a flow. You're not going to be able to promise them any results because they're just going to know everything there is about business and that's it. But if you focus on one problem and you solve that problem, then you're going to attract people who already know that they have a problem. And guess what? It's easier to sell to them. So much more easier. So let's say you are an agency owner. You could decide your niche to be, let's say your niche are agency owners and SaaS owners. You could create an event. Decide that your niche is agencies that are struggling to close premium clients. And all you're talking about through the whole event is about premium high ticket clients, and you help them create an offer, make sure that they decide on one problem. The same idea, right? Help them decide what kind of tools they can use, how to sell to premium clients, what type of content to create to attract premium clients. See how you're focusing your event just for helping agency close premium clients? Another problem, if your audience are agency owners and they're overwhelmed with delivery, so they're attracting the clients, closing the clients, but struggling to deliver their promises, you can create an event just to help them streamline, create systems, and help with delivery, help them how to hire a VA, how to have automation, AI. You see what I'm saying? So many topics come to mind when we choose a problem. And that's what we're doing with this episode. I'm helping you choose a problem. Decide what problems. These are not the same rooms because those who are struggling to close but know how to deliver are not the same as those who are already. Let me say that. So those agencies that are struggling to close premium clients, maybe their next problem is that they have too many clients and they're overwhelmed with delivery. So that would be the next event. And then they have the problem of they have a lot of premium clients, they're already delivering really well, but they're trying to scale and they're burning out. Do you see how there are 3 layers of problems and each problem can become a whole topic of an event? These are not the same rooms. They require different leadership, different energy, different promises, different content, different speakers. But if you just say, oh no, I'm just going to create a summit for agency owners, and then you talk about all the problems, it's going to be harder to sell your program, your course, your membership, your whatever. It's really going to be harder. That's how it is, especially nowadays. People need focus. Now let's narrow it even more. And I've already talked about this before. Remember the example that I gave you with the AI summits that are going around? Well, how can you narrow the problem of the audience even more? Can we teach it to beginners? Can you teach it to intermediate? Or can you teach it to advanced? Now, the same problem will show up differently at different stages. And you know this because you've grown a business, because you also struggle with your problems as well. Like, don't come at me saying that you're perfect. We're not. Nobody is. Nobody has it figured out. New levels, new devils, right? So, who are you going to be teaching this to? Are you going to focus only on beginners? Are you going to focus only on intermediate? Ding, ding, ding. Or are you going to be focused on the advanced? Also, ding, ding, ding. I've only seen one event in 2025 for the advanced. Actually, two. And I was in one of them. And I tell you, that is a missed opportunity, and you're leaving money on the table. I cannot stress it more. But anyways, let me give you an example. Now, let's say, for example, you are a business coach. Okay, one of the problems is that beginner clients want clarity and confidence, but intermediate clients want structure and consistency, and advanced clients want depth, refinement, and leverage. They probably want to exit the business. What if you are a community leader and you teach people how to build communities, how to sell to communities, how to thrive in communities? Beginners want to launch, want to have a system where they can get people into their community, sell to their community, right? Intermediates, they want more engagement, a better way to connect with their audience. And advanced, they want retention and they want to build culture. So they already know how to launch, they already know how to get engagement, they already know how to create offers, how to host events, how to do all these things, but they want to keep the retention and culture because that's not easy. No, it's not. And listen, like, you cannot lead an advanced room, and this is important, okay? If you're not advanced, don't come and say that you're going to be teaching the advanced, because they're going to squash you. That's the truth. So you cannot lead an advanced room if you haven't integrated the work yourself. If you don't have the experience, the advanced people are going to see it a mile away. Seriously. It's the truth. And a lot of people don't want to say it. And I'm going to say it because honestly, I've seen so many things in business in the past few years. I've been in online business world for a long time, more than 10 years. And I've seen so many people come and go. And it's because they don't stick with it. And I want you to stick with it, okay? Because this isn't about being good enough. It's about being honest about the stage you can ethically guide. I don't want you to be lying, because I want to share with you all of my processes and all of my secrets, and I cannot share it with you if you're going to use this for bad. I want you to be ethical, and I want you to be honest and transparent. And you can't really teach the advanced people if you're not advanced. That's how it is. You cannot teach the intermediate people if you're not advanced. And if you are a beginner, you're just going to stumble with the beginners, right? You got to be at least an intermediate level to be teaching beginners. Now, why does your business stage matter? Because authority is contextual, and you need to have authority, confidence, and know what you're talking about. So it's important that you decide what stage you're going to teach to, knowing the experience you have. And that's how it's going to create alignment. Your niche should feel familiar, not intimidating, okay? Because misalignment causes over-preparing, nerves, it causes over-explaining, it causes a trauma response when we're over-explaining. If we were over-explaining, we really don't know what we're talking about, and it can lead to and feeling like you're performing instead of hosting, okay? So the final question is, and I want you to write it down, what is your event niche? What is your problem? This is the problem that you're going to be solving, and you should describe who this room is for, what stage they are in, and why an event is the right container for them. If you can't finish that sentence clearly, you're not ready to design the event yet. And that's okay. Go back to the drawing board, because niche comes before everything else. Who is going to be in your event? Who is that human being that you're going to have seated in your venue or signed in to your event? It's so important, because the event energy, the engagement, your sales, and your nervous system as the host. When the niche is right, everything feels lighter. When it's wrong, everything feels harder and like you need to push through the awkwardness. Once you're clear on the room and the who is going to be in your audience, the next step is deciding what you can promise them responsibly and ethically. That's what we're going to talk about in the next episode. So stay tuned. Save this podcast to your favorites. Leave me a review, and I will see you in the next one. If you want the Create Irresistible Virtual Events Planner or the Create Irresistible Retreats Planner, you can find them on Amazon. Just search my name or the name of the planners and you can get your physical copy, or you can go to irresistiblevirtualevents.com, and that's where you could get the digital version of the virtual events planner. The planners matter, and the order that things are in, that's how we're breaking down the podcast episodes, so that we go step by step by step. Because when we slow down just enough to make sure that you're designing the right room for the right people at the right time, so that you can do the right things for your audience and for you as a host, okay? So I'll see you in the next one. We're going to be talking about event promise and topics and content. I'm going to wrap it in one delicious episode. And let me give you a reminder. You got this. Your event doesn't need more people. It needs the right people. I will see you in the next one. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Walk into the space and the mood is set. Every detail flows like a silhouette. You create moments that feel like sunrise. Soft but powerful magnetic rise. You're not here for noise, you're here for design. Crafting experiences that shift the mind.